We continue our coverage now by taking you to Sellersburg.
As tornadoes skipped through the area last night, they did heavy damage to a shopping center and a bowling alley.
We join Captain Reed Yadon now, who is live over Sellersburg. Reed?
Okay, Steve and Sandy, we've heard so much. We heard in Gary Collins' report some comments about the way these storms can just kind of hopscotch and pick a path, and Wayne Hart was also talking about the same thing. These storms are totally unpredictable when they're on the ground. Let me show you the result of this storm just below me. The storm that moved through here last night late produced the damage there at what was a bowling alley. Throughout the nighttime, we kept getting reports of the possibility of people trapped inside that building for a while. As you can see, a large part of the building has just been ripped away like it were a toy, like it were a tinker toy. When you fly over these storm areas, as we've been doing all day, you really begin to appreciate the power that these storms have. That's the reason we were emphasizing when the warnings were issued that you should take cover immediately. Look at those buildings down there. They look like something that the kids build with popsicle sticks and then rip away. A storm did that in just a matter of seconds. But the ironic part of this whole thing is the unpredictable path of the storm as it came through the Sellersburg area. Had the storm track shifted a little bit more to the south, that is toward Louisville, the Clark County Airport very easily could have been wiped out. There is the Clark County Airport. It's only about a half a mile south from where I'm flying right now. Now then, down below us, though, the storm hopscotched right across the area there that encompassed the bowling alley. If the storm had gone perhaps a mile or 2 miles to the north, it would have ripped through the main city of Sellersburg itself. Very heavily populated up here. It did not, luckily. Instead, what you see below us resulted. The bowling alley roof ripped off, several buildings nearby, and that was the extent of it. The storm hopscotched then on through portions of Clark County. Steve and Sandy, I have another near miss that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to be leaving this location very shortly now and heading over into the Floyd County area, and we'll talk about another near miss. This is Reed Yadon live in the Channel 32 Skycam over Sellersburg, Indiana.
Reed, if you can hear me over the noise of the helicopter, people were talking a lot about a path of destruction. Can you actually, from the sky, see a visible path where the tornado ripped through?
Yes, you can, Sandra. Let me see if I can whip around here right quick, and possibly we can show you part of that path as it came across here toward the bowling alley. Let me get over this clump of trees down here, and we'll take a look at that. Yeah, the path is very easy to pick out. It moved down through Floyd Knobs, and it just hopscotched across Interstate 65. There you see a path that it made through a grove of trees just before it hit the bowling alley. Just laid those trees down like they were nothing. And the path is very, very visible as you look over toward the Floyd County area. That's the direction I'll be heading now. Back to you and Steve.
Okay, thank you, Reed. Reed Yadon has been all over the hardest-hit tornado areas.
Right now, he's hovering in the Channel 32 Skycam helicopter over Floyd's Knobs. Reed?
Okay, Steve, we reposition now. Indeed, we are over Floyd Knob. Let me give you a view of some destruction just below us here. What we're going to do now is take you on a live ride up the edge of Floyd Knob. I want to show you what happened. We were talking about the path of the storm. It came down the hill, and there's some damage it caused. Now then, on its way down the hill, what you're going to see is we move up the hill. The storm came down the hill and just literally tore a path right through the solid mass of trees. But it's not over yet. You see, we're climbing up the hill here. Just numerous trees just laid down like they were kindling wood. Again, as I said in an earlier report, the power of these storms, you really begin to respect them after you fly along and see the damage they can cause. It literally just cut a path about 100 yards wide right down the edge of this section of Floyd Knobs. Now then, miraculously, again, it was the placement of the storm, the random placement of the storm that saved the houses that you are going to be looking at. There are the houses right at the top, right on the edge of the knobs. You can see some trees in their backyards literally torn out of the ground and the roots laying on the ground. But the houses, for the most part, they're not damaged. Had the storm shifted just a little bit to the south, those houses would probably be stacks of kindling wood. Also, let me turn here a little bit more. Had the storm shifted a little bit further to the south, you're looking at the antenna farm up here on Floyd Knobs. The antenna is owned by Louisville's radio and TV stations. Had that storm shifted perhaps a half or maybe a mile further south, those antennas could have all been wiped out very, very easily. So that's the story of another near miss. And these stories, you could go on and on with these stories from everywhere we've flown today, up in the Lawrence County area, here in Floyd County, over in Clark County. The random placement of the storm, a few feet in some cases, one way or the other, determines whether people are in their homes tonight or whether they're with friends or loved ones or in a shelter. So that's our live report from the Channel 32 Skycam over Floyd Knobs, Indiana. What we're going to do now is a little bit later, we'll come back and give you a look at what appears to be a pretty threatening sky off to the north, up toward the Bedford area, as Bruce Dunbar was talking about, and Wayne Hart will be updating us on very, very shortly. So that's it from the Channel 32 Skycam live. I'm Reed Yadon.
Reed Yadon, before you do get away, there are usually and sometimes reports of a tornado having a mile-wide path. Any indication, can you tell how wide the path of these twisters was?
Steve, it looked to me like as it came through Floyd and Clark County here, the path wasn't terribly wide. Where it did hit, it kind of zigzagged. Where it did hit in a fairly narrow path, it could cause a lot of destruction. The path appeared much wider, as we saw earlier today, up in the area around Bedford, Indiana. Up there, the path was perhaps a half a mile wide in some cases, but down here, in a lot of cases, the path was no wider than perhaps 100 yards or something.
Okay, Reed, thank you very much.